Officials are developing an early theory as to what caused a train carrying crude oil from Alberta to derail in the U.S. Midwest, spilling nearly 900,000 liters of oil. Homes were evacuated, but no one was hurt. A railway spokesperson says 14 of 32 oil tanker cars leaked into surrounding floodwaters from the Little Rock River. That's just south of the Minnesota border. The train was carrying crude oil from the Alberta oil sands. Now, the cause of the derailment is still under investigation, but officials do believe that flooding in the region played a role.
It does appear that flooding is part of the cause of the derailment.
Flood is definitely causing them guys a lot of problems because there's a lot of water, and then it's going down the Rock Valley, and it's causing them problems too.
Homes were evacuated, but no one was hurt. A railway spokesperson says 14 of 32 oil tanker cars leaked into surrounding floodwaters from the Little Rock River. That's just south of the Minnesota border. The train was carrying crude oil from the Alberta oil sands. Now, the cause of the derailment is still under investigation, but officials do believe that flooding in the region played a role.
As we move forward on this theme,
Derailment near Red Deer has caused an oil spill. 7 CP rail cars derailed just after 4:30 yesterday afternoon. A section of highway had to be closed after one of 6 cars carrying crude oil leaked. The 7th was carrying sand. No injuries, according to police.
It turns out that spill at Kinder Morgan pumping station near Kamloops was significantly bigger than first reported. It happened in late May at Darfield, which is north of Kamloops near Barrier. The spill was initially reported as 100 liters, but the Environment Ministry confirms today that it was actually closer to 4,800 liters and that it leaked into the ground. The ministry said none of it got into waterways, and the pipeline was shut down while crews cleaned it up. Kinder Morgan says Trans Mountain's internal safety systems worked properly to alert them to the situation.
The city of Vancouver is trying to recover cleanup costs of a bunker fuel spill in English Bay 3 years ago. As Grace Key reports, a claim against the owners of the MV Maratasa has been filed to get back more than $500,000 spent in response efforts.
It's been 3 years since the Maratasa spilled 2,700 liters of bunker fuel into English Bay. Since then, the city of Vancouver has been fighting to recoup about $550,000 in costs related to the spill. The federal government's Ship Source Oil Pollution Fund has offered 27% in compensation for the city, and Mayor Gregor Robertson says that's unacceptable.
A system right now does not work. It does not actually go after the ship owners and get the full compensation for the costs.
Is a sign of material that's come ashore and settled down.
So the city is taking the owners of the Maratasa to court. The ship was registered in Cyprus. In April, the city filed a claim in federal court against the owners for damages. The mayor is saying this is yet another reason why the city is against the Kinder Morgan pipeline expansion.
And here we have a clear example of an oil spill, a small oil spill relative to Kinder Morgan scale. This is a tiny fraction of what could spill. And we can't get back the $500,000 that we've put forward on taxpayers' money to deal with the oil spill mess.
The fuel contaminated several beaches along English Bay and the Burrard Inlet, with the cleanup and response lasting 16 days.
The federal government needs to step up and take responsibility for their jurisdictions. We cannot wait for a major oil spill to harm our beaches, to harm our parks, to harm our environment.
The Ship Source Oil Pollution Fund is created from levies collected from oil cargo ships. The system is designed to cover the risk of non-payment by the ship owner who is responsible for pollution. The fund has disputed some of the city's claims for compensation. Grace Key, Global News.
Just days away from the self-imposed Kinder Morgan deadline of May the 31st, the company responding to a small oil spill today, while activists showed up to monitor that response. A small group of anti-pipeline protesters confronted police near the Darfield pump station north of Kamloops. Kinder Morgan says Trans Mountain's internal safety systems worked properly to alert of the situation. About 100 liters of crude oil leaked into the ground, and environment officials say none of it got into waterways. The pipeline was shut down while crews cleaned up. Hundreds of homeowners in Vancouver Point Grey rallied today against a contentious school tax. That was ahead of a meeting this afternoon with the riding's MLA, David Eby, on the issue. As Tanya Beja reports, it comes weeks after Eby canceled another town hall because of safety concerns.
The government enriches themselves.
And today, the John Horgan says the
Event no one.
We need those jobs to generate income tax, to have a strong national economy, to be able to fund things.
Nobody wants a catastrophic event. No one anticipates one, but the world is riddled with unanticipated consequences.
John Horgan says aside from Alberta, he didn't feel any pressure to change his mind. Things appear to be getting even more heated, and Notley's press secretary now saying the two NDP premiers were never close friends. Horgan's response, they've known each other for decades, but the dispute isn't about him personally. Vancouver police have arrested 3 people in a theft of more than $100,000 in alcohol. Police were contacted in April by the BC Liquor Distribution Branch after they suspected an employee was stealing. The alcohol was found at a Delta home. Police have confirmed
MV Maranatha spilled 2,700. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for being with us this Sunday afternoon. Just over 3 years ago, the MV Maranatha spilled 2,700 liters of bunker fuel while at anchor in English Bay. The Greek shipping company that allegedly owned the vessel faced 10 environmental charges, but so far has failed to show up in court. Our Grace Key is on Sunset Beach today, where Vancouver's mayor is talking about what the city can do 3 years later. Grace?
Well, today, Vancouver Mayor Gregor Robertson did announce that the city is now taking the ship's owners to court. So this is a suit that was filed in federal court last month. For the past 3 years, the city's saying it has certainly been struggling trying to recoup more than $500,000 it spent in the cleanup efforts. So this is something that they did make a claim with the federal government's oil pollution fund. That fund does offer compensation for the government. It has offered less than 30% so far. The mayor says this is another reason why the city is against the Kinder Morgan expansion project.
Vancouver's primary concern with the Kinder Morgan proposal is the oil tankers, 7 times the number that will go through our harbor, and the oil spill that we expect will happen over time and dramatically impact our environment and impact our economy.
So in the suit, the mayor says the city is going to be seeking damages, interest, and of course court costs as well. Lynn?
Key in Sunset Beach for us. Thanks for the update there, Grace.